Namaskaram. Today's topic is Interface Python with SQL. We have learned how to store data in a file like text file, binary file, CSV file, etc. And also we have learned about databases and the advantages of using databases over normal files. Now we are going to discuss how to connect to a MySQL database from within a Python script. To work with Python MySQL interface, we need to install Python MySQL server and Python MySQL connector. Here MySQL is the backend database and Python is the front-end interface. The front-end interface is used to fetch some data from the user, process it and give back the result to the user. That is, user directly communicates with the front-end. Here our Python. And in some cases, we need to store the data systematically for future use. Here is the use of backend database. A backend database is used to store the data permanently on some secondary storage device like our hard disk for future use. And also these databases give suitable responses based on the request. In databases, the request, that is the query, is given through SQL, that is structured query language. And it will give the response based on the query. I have used MySQL version 8.0 and Python 3.7 for interface. Next we will see how to connect Python with MySQL database. I will show you a sample program which connects with MySQL and shows all the existing databases. First of all, we need to import MySQL.connector package in our program. For that, import MySQL.connector. Next, we need to establish connection to a MySQL database using connect function. For that, create a connection object. I have given the name mycon. It is just an identifier like your file object. So mycon equal to MySQL dot connector dot connect. The function connect is in MySQL dot connector package. That is why MySQL dot connector dot connect. And the arguments of connect function are, first one is host. Host equal to localhost. It is the database server host name. See, there is no space in between local and host. Next is user. User equal to root. It is the username on MySQL. Next is password. Passwd equal to CompuTeacher. It is the password of the user. That is, when you start your MySQL, it will ask for a password. That password you have to give here. And if you cannot give this in single line, you can give slash in between. Localhost slash user root, then password. Python will consider this as a single statement. Next step is to create a cursor instance. A database cursor is a control structure of database connectivity. And this cursor allows Python codes to execute SQL commands in a database session. The SQL query is sent to the server, it gets executed there and the result set is sent back. And this process is in one burst of activity, that is in one go. That is, when you connect to a database from a program, the result obtained from database is in the form of a result set. That is not in the form of different rows. It is received as a set of records. So to process and display each and every record separately, we need the use of cursor. It is also an identifier. I have given the name myCursor. MyCursor equal to myConnection mycon dot cursor. That is connection object dot cursor method. Next step is to execute SQL query. It is using cursor name myCursor dot then the function execute. And as the argument of this function execute, we have to give the query. Here it is show databases. Show databases will display all the existing databases. See, the query is given within the quotes. And you can use both uppercase letters and lowercase letters just like in MySQL. Then the list of databases are there in MySQL cursor. Then display each and every records of that record set. For that, use the for loop for I in my cursor print I. Then run the program. All the existing databases are displayed. Our next program to create a database. Create a database. First step is import the connector. Import MySQL.connector as SQL Connect. That is, SQL Connect is the alias name of MySQL.connector. Wherever you need MySQL.connector, you can give SQL Connect also. This we have studied in Python libraries, same here also. Next step is creating connector object. My connection, mycon equal to SQL Connect dot connect. Here I have used SQL Connect instead of MySQL.connector. Then the arguments host equal to localhost. Then user is root. Slash. Then password equal to CompuTeacher. You can use both passwd as well as password. Both will work. Next is creating the cursor object. My cursor, I have given my cur only. My cur equal to mycon dot cursor. Then the cursor name mycur dot execute. Here I have to create a database. So the query is create database, then the name of the database. I am going to give school. For database creation, no need of retrieving any records and displaying it. So no need of for loop and display here. Execute. No error. We will check whether the database is created or not. MySQL show databases. My database school is created. You can check like this. Otherwise, in your program itself, you can give the execute function to show the databases and the remaining codes. Next step is to use the database and create a table. Use the database and create a table. And create a table. There are two methods to use a database. One is to give the query use school here in execute, and the second one is to give the name of the database as the argument of the connect function. Database equal to school. Both you can use. Next I am going to create a table. mycur dot execute Then the query, create table name I am going to give student, roll no, inch, then name varchar of 15 and place varchar 15. Close the bracket, close the quotes, then close the execute function. Then to display the structure of the table, I can give mycar dot execute describe DSE student. The result of this query is a record set, so we have to give for I in mycar print I. Run the program. I got the structure of the table. Next I am going to insert 3 records into that table. Everything is same only. Here in mycar execute I have to give the insert function. Insert into student values, roll number 1, name Anjali. See, I have used double quotes here because I have already used single quotes for starting this string. Otherwise you can use double quotes here and single quotes here. Then the place Pandalam. Close the insert function. Close the string using single quotes. Close the execute function. Similarly, I have to give commands for inserting 2 more records. See, in this third insertion, I have used double quotes here and single quotes here. Otherwise, you have to use the escape sequence / quotes that we have studied in print and string function. Okay. Then to save these changes permanently in our database or in our table, you have to give mycon dot commit. See, here I have used connection object, not the cursor. Connection object dot commit. Commit will commit the current transaction. That is, it will save the inserted records. Run the program. We will check whether the records are inserted properly or not using our next program. That is to display all the records in a table. Up to this same only. Then mycar dot execute select star from student. The result of this query is a record set, so you have to use the for loop. For I in mycar print I. Run the program. See the result. All the records in that table are displayed. And you can see the records are in the form of tuples. So we have studied how to connect Python with MySQL and also how to execute SQL queries from Python program. We will continue with the same topic in the next class. Thank you.